that. So the left two sliders, yep, slide that all the way up and hit those two top buttons. Yep. And we are starting, I guess.
Pizza.
Hello. You are Soap Scum. Yes. Yeah. First off, would you like to introduce yourselves, where you're from, what you're about, what kind of music you play?
I'm Laura, I'm the drummer.
I'm Lucas, I play guitar and sing. And you sing too.
I sing a little bit. I'm learning.
Learning.
Yeah.
Of course.
He's my voice coach.
Where are you guys from? Originally?
Originally Wisconsin, but we both live in Minneapolis now.
Yeah, we both separately grew up in southern Wisconsin. Laura's from Beloit, I'm from Waukesha, and yeah, you've been in Minneapolis for a little bit longer than I have, but we met up there about 2 years ago?
I'd say a little bit more than that. But yeah, I found out we're both fascinated by moving to where our music scene was to increase our chances of getting to play more often.
And what music scene would that be that you guys were aiming for?
Well, Minneapolis has lots of bands, sometimes too many. But lots of venues, lots of different kinds of music, and so part of the reason I moved there was maybe I have a bigger shot at becoming a drummer in a band because maybe I'll keep bugging someone until they take me in or something like that.
There you go. And is that what happened, Lucas?
Not at all, actually. Laura was playing in this really fantastic kind of surfy garage band called Red Pens, and I had seen a couple of their shows, and I'm still playing in a different band, and we were recording at the time, and I was touring a studio that Laura and Howard were recording at, and I was at a show, and I saw her there, and I said, what was your experience, how did it go and everything, and we just started talking then, and then...
We talked for a couple of years more.
Yeah, and then Red Pens was...
No longer.
And I kept on saying, hey, we should get together, we should try this out, see what happens. And here we are.
So, I understand it's probably kind of different practicing for a smaller show. You guys are both punk, grunge-esque in the scene there, right?
Sure, I'd say that.
Or would you have better terms? Would you like to define yourself?
Depends on how pretentious you want to get. You can call it grunge wave or like post-apocalyptic, I don't know. Something.
Compromise, artistic, financial.
But yeah, I guess the idea for the band was to write songs that were simple and sort of, I would almost like to say, like, Laura's a visual artist. She does abstract paintings and, you know, where they're just very vibrant and use a lot of angles and lines, and there's just a lot of movement that happens in kind of a small space. So that was kind of the idea with the band too.
Alright. And your sound has been described as having crunchy guitars. Was it difficult to prepare something where you have to cut out the distortion, and we're asking you here?
Well, at this point we didn't really give ourselves any chance to think about it. We were just like, well, here's a challenge.
We want to do it, and it's sort of, yeah, it's appropriate to compromise to do something like this, an interview, and a small space. Don't necessarily want to disturb all the students and take up your whole office.
And honestly, that's generally how songs start, or it's at least going to be part of the process at some point, whether it's sort of building it up from an acoustic base, or you know, you start touring after a while of practicing or working on a new song. So
it helps us think about the song, kind of stripped down.
Yep.
Sort of makes it vulnerable, but we like it that way. Don't want anything to ever be too easy.
Cool. And on the rest of your tour, I understand that you're coming off a tour or coming to near the end of it. Were there any other difficult compromises you had to make on the way? Do you have any fun stories for your latest?
Where to begin?
Yeah.
There's just been a lot of surprises. Surprises of venues being really excellent, and having something like Wichita where there was just it had just a lot of life. It was a small place, but it felt really packed and had just a lot of very supportive people there that wanted to buy merch and wanted to help us out and connect. And that's the whole
Mission.
That was our idea getting into doing something like a DIY 10-date tour, was to make some friends and not to think about, we need to come back with $300 or whatever it is, or we need to be able to cover gas. But so far we've been pretty lucky with covering gas.
Yes, just like a safe place to sleep, make some friends that also share the same value for music. It's really great to get hugs from strangers after you're done playing, and
we only thought we were going to get chopped up and made into chili once.
Well, there you go.
Because it's club, random person's house, and then back in the van, and it kind of repeats for a couple days. So when you get to random person's house, it's different. Sometimes they're wanting to, make you tea. Sometimes they want to do shots. So it just kind of depends on who you're dealing with, and generally it's like, I just want to grab a book and mellow out kind of thing.
So you're more up the tea alley then?
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. There's usually something involved.
it's different to have this adrenaline rush after having fun and playing and talking, and then all of a sudden, okay, we have to get up in 6 hours, I have to go to sleep right now, but I'm wired, so yeah, it balances out. I've gotten better at driving, I think. I haven't driven in years, so I'm really glad he trusts me with his vehicle.
In life.
Yeah, it's like, I'm responsible for us right now, and straight line, straight line, straight line. Yeah, we've been doing better. We're alive, and we'll continue to stay up.
Just trust the professionals. They drive 18-wheelers, follow them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it sounds like you guys are starting to develop momentum for the band Soap Scum. Do you have big plans for the future? Are you guys going to be back in the studio recording the next set? Have you got some work on that already?
Some new songs, kind of in the works. There's lots of songs that he presented to me, and there's some that we didn't get to really work on yet, so we're gonna maybe work on some of those for a record and come up with new ones, and we're really excited to let's just go make another record, put it in the oven, cook it.
Winter gets long.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how you've learned from your other projects before you guys got together and started making music? How did that help? How did that influence you?
It's really important to find someone that you take each other seriously and like what each other does, but also listen and I really like that he asked me lots of questions, like, what do you think? And I was like, first, kind of like, no one really has asked me that before. I just kind of did what I was told because I was really felt grateful to play, and now I feel like it's like a team. We're both working on something in like a science lab, and it's fun to see the project, not product. We're not a product.
But that's the drive behind your music, right? That's kind of the sound you make, and a lot of the style and the themes of a lot of your songs. I understand that you're both highly influenced by Steve Albini's work, and sounds a lot like Dinosaur Jr. sometimes. Can you talk about that? What drove you to that genre, and what's attracted you about that?
Just the sounds to me of that kind of music reminds me, I call it like blue collar rock, or the working person's music, about real life, real observations, and staying realistic, and also treating other people like you want to be treated, the general rule there.
I see you've got it all set up. It seems like music can be made. Would you guys like to give it a shot?
Sure.
All right. Any closing thoughts before we move to the music?
Boogers.
Boogers.
Kittens.
Boogers and kittens. That's the sound.